Welcome. So today we're going to be reviewing the Beans buds. There we go. Now in all actuality they're called Buds Alive, but let's face it, they look like beans. So yeah, let's pop it open and quickly get inside. Now from what I already know, there is not much inside the box. There's also some tape on the bottom. There we go. Let's pop it open. This usually stays here, so yeah, so we can imitate the true unboxing. There we go. See what we got inside. Paperwork, so I don't even care what's in there in this case. Then we got the casing itself, which almost slipped out. There we go. I'll just set it to the side for now. And also see, is there anything else interesting? Charging cable. Oh, and tips. Let's pick them all up. Is there more? Oh, it looks like that's all we get for tips. Yep. Okay, so not much in here. Drop it to the side. Let's bring the beans right here. As you can see, fairly minimal design. I also have right over here the Samsung device, which I'll be connecting to. Ooh, that feels nice, the opening and closing. But yeah, obviously you can see the design of it. They look kind of funny. So let's start off with the specs of this. These have ANC and are controversially open design. So if you're wondering what does it mean, is there is no seal around the speaker itself. So for instance, if you get something like these buds right here, they have the rubber and it will seal off the sound, right? And they are also noise cancelling. Now part of the seal comes from, well, the rubber itself sealing the sound, and then additionally the ANC helps it with using microphones. Now this uses only microphones to seal off the sound, but other than that the design is open, so it might be a little bit hard to noise cancel stuff. Now I'll test it around and see how they work in a second once I actually connect them. Now I do have a phone right here. Obviously these will work best with the Samsung device, same way as, for instance, the Apple works best with their AirPods. And right off the bat you can see that without me actually going into Bluetooth or anything or putting these into pairing mode, because I don't even know how to, you can already see the pop-up to connect them. So yeah, let's do that right now. So in terms of what this would probably be closest to, the design of them would be similar to what AirPods are like, because AirPods are also open and part or majority of the sound will also escape your ear as well. So if you're looking for buds that are, well, not really type of sound leaking earbuds or earbuds, then this probably won't be for you, because the louder you get, the more people will be able to hear what you're listening to. That's a little bit of a downside of the open design. Now because of also the open design, music will sound a little bit more rich in a way. Now this is kind of hard to explain unless you hear it yourself. So you have a little bit more of an open stage to it, but also you need to be, for instance, in like a quiet room. So at home those are okay. If you're trying to listen to them on a tram or in a crowded area, a lot of that benefit of open design will just kind of fade away, and the noise cancelling will give you nothing apart from lower battery. So let's see if they're actually connected, because I didn't check it. So we need to open up the Galaxy wearable, go to Beans, allow, Galaxy Buds Live, yep, that's what I want. So we have some update. Let's just agree, whatever, got it, continue. You're all set. Okay, cool. So as you can see, there is a bunch of information. We have the case at 53%, buds at 99. I'm not really sure why they're not at 100, but who cares really. So also from what I've heard, apparently the best preset for it is the dynamic. And it looks like by default they come with the noise cancelling being disabled, which honestly I don't mind, considering the noise cancelling right here will not give you much benefit, and only downside of it will be the fact that you will just lose more battery. Now when it comes down to the battery, it has a couple different things. So it has Bixby and ANC. Bixby will be used to kind of like Google Assistant, but just Bixby. And if you use both of them, you're expected to get 5 hours of battery life on these buds, and also additionally 20 hours or 20 hours total with the case itself. If you use only ANC, active noise cancelling, or Bixby, one of the two, you'll get about 1 hour more, so 6 hours of listening on the buds, and then 21 hours just in total. And apart from that, if you use don't use either noise cancelling or the Bixby, just have them disabled, you will get around 8 hours and 29 hours with the case. So that is a little bit more respected time that I would say for buds. So yeah, let's kind of fit them in. Now obviously these will work or fit differently for different people. For me, I personally don't like this kind of design. To me, I guess I got fairly small ears, so and I'm fairly reasonably skinny, so these are kind of harsh. The plastic kind of digs into the ears, so I don't really like it, but for the majority of people they should be fine. So let's just kind of pop them in. Obviously, like I said, because these are open, they don't do kind of any noise cancelling. So passive noise cancelling is what you would call it when you have things like the rubber seal on it. But let's so we have different. Actually, I'm gonna quickly connect it to my device where I actually have music, and we can quickly see how well these work. So let's try to scan for things. I'm not really sure how to put it into pairing mode, or do I need to get the application, which that would be not very fortunate. Okay, so it looks like I need an app, so I'm just going to completely disregard this and go into things like YouTube. And not now, I don't want to update. So let's pick something up. What could we pick right here? See, what was I listening to on mine? So I'm listening right now, or was listening to High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. So let's see how that sounds. For you, obviously for the copyright reason, won't be really playing it. I'll just kind of have to verbally describe how it sounds. So let's go back to this. Okay. Let's see. So for some reason they're not really connecting. Let me quickly see if I have to tap on it. There we go. So now it's connected. And the buds already dropped by 4%. So the battery drain is quite quick in here. In any case, let's go back. Okay, let's see this. Alright, they have also touch controls. So while this is playing, I'm gonna trying to actually put it into split screen so I can mess around with the settings. Let's open up in pop-up view. Cool, there we go. And also go into right over here so I can continue playing this. Move it to the side. So yeah, obviously dynamic is at the moment the best. It makes the sound look, or not look, but sound a little bit more rich, honestly. Anything, the normal one seems like it's flat. They seem like a $10 buds at that point, or headphones. With dynamic, it's a little bit more respectable. But honestly, just a little tweak of them in my ear and the sound kind of changes. So to me, they still kind of sound flat. That might be, again, subject to change depending on how your ear is built. And the battery is dropping like crazy right now. Not sure if you realize it. It's 10% since I started recording this, or almost 10. So yeah. Now obviously, let's see, the noise cancelling is actually enabled right now. Let's see. Honestly, I don't really... Okay, I do hear a difference in my own voice. But honestly, apart from my own voice, I don't hear any environmental sound difference. So this literally sounds the exact same. Okay, let's close this off. So obviously, these probably won't be for everybody. Primarily, I would assume these would cater to people that have problems with actually having buds with the seal in it. From what I've heard, there is a bunch of people that actually have problems with earbuds or any kind of thing like that, that just has anything entering their ear, so it might be uncomfortable. So if you're the kind of person, then this probably will be good for you. But then also, in my personal opinion, AirPods sound better than this for me personally. But then I heard other people saying that these sound better than AirPods, so not really sure. Maybe just my ears are kind of weird, but personally for me, these kind of sound bad. Like I said, that is just normally how they lay in my ear, but if I try to like fiddle them around and just push them deeper, which is even more uncomfortable for me, then the sound improves. But then it's kind of like, if I'm uncomfortable having them in my ear, then I don't really see a purpose of using them. So that's just me. Now, moving on to the specifications, they do use Bluetooth 5.0, so battery should be a bit decent on here, but Bluetooth 5.0 uses less battery, so yeah. And apart from that, they do use AAC codec, so you'll have higher quality sound. That is kind of questionable here, considering the sound quality isn't necessarily the greatest in my opinion. And they also have no optics, so that is a bit of a downside. And when it comes down to the IP rating, I don't know why. These have IP rating too, which maybe you can sweat in them, but I would be wary about doing that as well. So water, not recommended for these. Just try to keep them away from any kind of liquids, because they might just get damaged. Now, for the more better parts of this, they do come with the casing that has a Type-C charging port on it. I really appreciate the fact that they included that. There's a lot of earbuds cases that use the old standard USB, micro USB, or whatever it's called. So these use Type-C, which is basically the same what we can see on the majority of the phones nowadays. And apart from that, you do have ability to charge them wirelessly. So I do have a charger right here. Slap them on, and there we go, they're charging now. So you can charge them with a wireless case, or also if your phone has the ability to wirelessly be charged, they usually also have the reverse wireless charging. That means that you can also slap it on your phone and charge it off of your phone. Now I will mention that if you're trying to use your phone for charging, the wireless charging on the phones, at least the reverse one, is significantly slower than what you have on the actual chargers right here. So don't expect the same kind of performance in terms of charging as you do have on the pad itself. Then they do have sensors, so IR sensors. So when you take them out, they will pause the music, but for some reason they do not resume the music when you put them back in. So that is kind of weird. Honestly, I've used a couple different buds in my in reviews as well. For instance, the ones that I have right here, those are mine. And these also pause music when you take them out, and at least in this case, they sometimes resume it, sometimes do not. Not sure how that is dependent on what. But yeah, these just flat out don't resume. And then if you try to use only one bud, you can choose either one of them. They work fine with just a standalone single bud. So you can keep one in the case and put one in your ear, and it will work just fine. So that is really nice touch right here. And not much more to say apart from that. As you can see, the casing right here, it's fairly small, honestly. Really like the design of the case. The buds themselves, honestly, they only look ridiculous like in hand. When you put them in the air, part of it is kind of gone, so you only see just, well, let's just say something like this, right? So it doesn't look like a bean anymore, because part of it is in your ear covered. So they stop looking as funny as they do outside of the case. So when you take them out, you can clearly see they basically look like beans or kidneys or something like that. So the design of them is kind of funny. And also, if you were wondering about this, you have kind of like these wing tips. This is what basically at the end of your ear, and you can switch them up. They have some already applied. Let's see if I can take them off. There we go. So you can substitute them for something a little bit bigger if these aren't doing the job for you. And let me quickly see. So this is a left one, and the bean is right. So I switch it up. There we go. And I believe it's going to go like this, but I'm not sure. I've never actually put this on, so I have no clue if I'm doing this correctly. There we go. So as you can see, it extends the tip right here, so it sits better in your ear. So if the ones that come pre-applied are too small and the bean is loose in your ear, you can switch them up for these bigger ones. And also, it still fits in the case if you're wondering. So yeah, now honestly, at the end of the day, for this review and overview of this, I'm not for $160. I wouldn't consider them to be worth. There are better choices than this. The noise cancelling that comes on them, the ANC active noise cancelling, is to me useless. They're open design, so you will be able to hear your surrounding with or without the ANC enabled, and the ANC will not change much in terms of it. Now, the thing that they do good at is calls. The microphone on here is fairly good. It picks up your voice clearly. It does also a fairly good job at blocking out just background noise. So if you're like in a crowded environment, it will pick you up no problem, block out basically everything else. And it's kind of surprising considering they do go fairly deep in your ear and aren't necessarily designed to stick out of your ear in any kind of way. So it's nice to see that, well, the microphones are picking up your voice and blocking basically everything else, and they do a really good job at it. But at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, this is not far enough to justify buds like this. Honestly, the previous buds from Samsung would be better. Either go for the Plus version, I think it was called, or just the standard ones. And in my opinion, they will be better than this. The noise cancelling, the passive noise cancelling that you will get on the original Samsung buds would be better than what you have right here. That's just because the rubber seals better than open design will ever be able to with active noise cancelling. So that's just my personal opinion. And if you're looking for just a simple buds that work well, have all the controls on them, they are touch, so you can control basically everything, although keep in mind probably remapping some of those functions, touch controls right here would be good to do, because I personally wouldn't use majority of those. Majority, I mean tab. So you have tap to play or pause track. Then you have double tap to play next track, answer or end call. That's a double tap. And you can also change basically every time what they do. Then we have triple tap for play previous track, and then touch and hold, that is for user's choice. So change in settings, decline calls. So by default we can decline calls with just triple tapping, but we can also set other actions to it. And yeah, apart from them being touch control, let's face it, the previous and the original Samsung buds could do that as well. And I don't really see the benefit of these. To me, they sound worse than the original buds that have these rubber tip. So at the end of the day, if you're the person that cannot have the rubber tip basically in your ear, then probably you will go for these. But if you're the type of person that doesn't mind it, then I strongly advise you to either go for the normal buds or the Buds Plus, or just completely something else if you don't want the older buds. So that is basically my overview of these buds. They are okay. They aren't blowing me out of the water. I most certainly wouldn't pay $160 for them. There are better choices, and the active noise cancelling here seems kind of useless, slapped on here just as a mean to, I guess, add value to them, but I'm not exactly sure what they were thinking about making open design headphones. They would have gone way better without the noise cancelling on them and just make them fully open design in this case, and sell them as such at a lower cost. Then I would most likely say that they're okay, but primary part of them is the noise cancelling, and it is insignificant in this case here. So at the end of the day, I would probably, like I said, if you want something without the rubber tips that are going into your ear and kind of like expanding in there, then these should be good. But then I would also tell you to maybe check out the just the Apple AirPods. There we go, that's how they're called. Because for me at least, AirPods sound better than this. So that would conclude it. Now the choice is, well, primarily for you. These might look or sit better in your ear and sound way better than they did for me. So I still, at the end of the day, would strongly suggest that you try them out if you're thinking about picking them up, and decide for yourself if the sound is up to your standards or not. For me personally, it wasn't. That's why I'm saying that it's a no from me. But if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.